Hi, I'm Nick, and I like comics.
And I'm Adam, and I know comics.
Welcome to Adam and Nick Spoil Some Comics, where we spoil some comics. And that's exactly what we were doing. We were talking about Batman and Robin Eternal number 4 today, and we're going to spoil the crap out of it. So if you haven't read this issue, you might want to do that before you watch this, or just watch it and you know all about it. Also, you might want to go back and check out our other videos where we talk about Batman and Robin Eternal, which there'll be links somewhere.
At the end.
Or down below.
Or above.
Or
on Nick's face.
Everywhere. On my face.
Alright, so the story once again is James Tynion IV and Scott Snyder. Script is by Steve Orlando this time, with pencils changed over to Scott Eaton from Paul Pelletier. I like Scott Eaton better. So Batman and Robin Eternal number 4 picks up exactly where we left off, with Bruce getting attacked by a bunch of people with hatchets. And as we kind of expected, Dick Grayson rushes in to save the day. There's a bunch of fighting that starts happening. Some of the help turns out to be Robins, multiple, 4 of them at least, I think, from the We Are Robin comic. And then Batgirl shows up out of the blue as well to kind of coach everybody along to get through the fight. Bruce Wayne notices and recognizes the voice of somebody named Mr. Sparrow, which if we've read Grayson, we know that it's actually Dick Grayson disguised, but he this time recognizes the voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to that in a minute. As the fight is going on, they take out all the bad guys. Dick and Duke, who is the leader of the Robins, end up having this little conversation with each other. And Duke says, hey, we're going to escort Wayne home. Dick's like, man, don't you understand what's going on here? There's no police. There's no fire department. There's no authorities going on. This is a power move. There's something going on. They have this little conversation, and Duke's like, who are you? And Dick's comment is, well, I was the first one to put on that R. Meaning, hey, I was Robin before you were born. Probably.
Well,
maybe not.
Maybe not.
Probably not. Anyways, so they continue to have this conversation, and Dick's like, hey, you guys need to be careful, or something worse is going to happen to you. And Duke's comment is, well, if we're getting enemies, if we're having people pursue us, then we're doing our job. We're doing the right thing.
So back at the Batcave, Cassandra Cain has told Harper Row, let's get out of here by motion of her hand.
In the last issue, Cassandra Cain motioned for Bluebird Harper Row to let's leave, and it seems that obviously Harper went with her. So we catch up with them where they're going, and we're not kind of sure if it's friendly, if it's confrontational. Like, it seemed like Bluebird was like, okay, I'm going to go with you, and then here we catch up, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
Right, now it feels more like, I'm going to shoot you with my electric gun if you walk out of here, and then she lets her go. Spoilers, just pretty much upset that nobody listens to her at all.
Also, a side note that we were talking about earlier, in the last issue, Harper Row is laying on a hospital bed, stitched up near death.
Right.
And now she is in full costume. One, where did the costume come from? And two, we were talking about where did she get this training? It seems that it just kind of comes out of nowhere. She's saying stuff like, hey, I have the high ground. You need to do listen to what I'm going to do.
Yeah, the high ground is everything.
Right, the high ground is everything. You need to listen to me.
Grappling down from this is like high level stuff. And
where did she get the training?
Right.
And even if she had somewhat of a training, we've already seen that Cassandra Cain can kick the crap out of her no matter where she is.
Right, so where does she get off having this, I'm better than you, watch out for my electric gun, which, where did the electric gun even come from? I mean, they barely got her into the Batcave alive, and she wasn't, this thing is as tall as she is.
Right. The point of this whole conversation is that Bluebird decides to leave with Cassandra Cain despite the freak out that the spoiler Stephanie Brown has.
So Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, masquerading again as Mr. Sparrow, have a quick meeting for Mr. Sparrow just to let him know, I know some stuff happened. I've got my people watching you. Everything's going to be fine. And Bruce wittily just says, I'm just glad someone came to my party. Scene changes back to the Batcave where Jason Todd and Tim Drake are kind of arguing about little stuff. And then Dick Grayson jumps in and is like, hey, where were you guys during this fight? Bruce almost died. It should have been easy for Tim to get in, to pass through all of the communication stuff, because it was all Wayne Tech.
Earlier, while the fight was going on, Dick was trying to communicate with Tim about, hey, what's going on? Where are you? What do I need to do? Those kind of questions. And their communications were blocked. He couldn't get through. So as he's driving around, Dick makes the comment, hey, there are 14 firewalls that Wayne Tech, and you know this stuff, and then we have you to kind of stop this kind of thing from happening, and Tim's basically like, I don't know what happened.
And then they kind of realize, oh, we dropped the ball, and the two people we're supposed to be watching escaped the Batcave. And spoilers like, hey, you guys can't put that on me. I'm like the least physically trained person here. You cannot expect me to keep track of a crazy assassin ninja and Harper Row, who apparently is some sort of crazy, awesome tech genius or something.
Right.
Apparently.
Right. And as they're continuing this conversation, Dick says, "Hey, I think we're gonna blow this case wide open. I think we're gonna figure out what's going on." And they've been talking about this list with the names on it, and it seems that Dick has kind of put some pieces together. Where Tim has not, which is very interesting,
Yeah.
and figured out. So he goes to Tim Drake's house to get some answers for this. And on the last page, we can see that Tim is getting a phone call from the mother. And he says, "Hello, mother." Basically, what we have learned is that all the people on this list were people that somehow the mother had made them into these children weapons, these child weapons or whatever. And they don't even know that they are child weapons until the mother calls them.
Right. So everybody on that list that we saw back in the first issue happens to have some sort of, and almost like an implant in the wrist, because they were all pulling out phones back in the dining room at that banquet, and now Tim Drake, same thing, where it's this little hollow phone of some kind.
Where he's talking to. So that means that Dick and Tim and Jason and Harper are all up on this list and are all potentially agents to work for the mother. So now we're at a race against time, you could say, where Dick needs to figure out, how do I stop this lady before she turns me on?
Right.
And not in a sexual way.
So some stuff I liked about this issue. I thought the art was a little bit better than Paul Pelletier's. So Scott Eaton, good job. Good stuff. I like the introduction of the We Are Robin characters into this. I haven't really read We Are Robin, so it's interesting to see them kind of team up with the real, what I would consider the real Robins. It's kind of interesting how Duke feels like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, and Dick is to say, hey, I was the first one to wear the art. I like that moment. That was pretty cool. A lot of the stuff I'm a little iffy on. I don't know what Spoiler's deal is in this issue, where she's got all this, like, tantrum problems. I mean, she's more of a fun-loving character, so the tantrums, whatever. And that Bluebird thing, I don't get it. I don't get why they're making her to be this such great, awesome, cool character. She needs to kind of prove herself, I think, still, for me to really find her super interesting. So to get this issue, 2.5 Robin symbols out of 5. A little better than the last one. Still not great. I'm interested. I'm still going, but I'm not looking forward to it as much as I'd hoped.
Yeah, very good. Overall, I like this one a whole lot better. It seemed like the story was going in. Maybe that just had to do with, you know, the first 10 pages were a lot of action. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure, but I liked it a whole lot more. I did see the twist at the end with Tim, you know, being contacted by the mother, coming pretty on. It was suspicious to me. I was very suspicious whenever he couldn't get through the comms, and then it just kind of all fell in place. I like that direction. I like where it's going. I like the fact that they are causing animosity between these characters that already have all this history and kind of going to be breaking them apart and be fighting them together. I really like that. Overall, I'll give this one a 3.5 out of 5. Bat symbols. Again, I liked it more. I know they're going somewhere, and I think here in a few issues we're going to get some really great storytelling, some really great things are going to happen, and I'm very excited to see where that goes. So overall, we give this a 6 out of 10, which is it's a decent rating. So check it out, and yeah, there you go. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We like to chat with people on there, and comment below in the comment section and let us know what you're thinking of this series. Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? Do you agree with some of the stuff that we're saying?
Do you even care who Harper Row is? Is she cool to you or just lame? Let us know.
Right. I have a feeling that people like her because she's a chick, and she's kind
blue
of
hair. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, shaved head. You know, like cool.
It's very stylish.
There you go. And until next time, yeah, we'll be regrowing my beard bigger because I trimmed it.